Good morning, everybody. My name is Lynette and welcome to my garden. Today we're going to tackle a project that quite honestly I've been putting off for about 3 years now. And since I'm retired, I no longer have the excuse that I don't have time to do this. We're going to tackle this Zagreb Coreopsis that has spread throughout this whole section of the garden. Now, the Zagreb has been here about probably 17, 18 years. So the fact that it is now spread out to an area that's easily 10 feet across, I would not consider it a really aggressive spreading plant. However, it is encroaching on other things. Therefore, I'm going to have to get in here, dig those things out, pull out the Coreopsis, and then I did put a thing on Facebook that I'm inviting people to come in and dig their own Coreopsis out of here. So hopefully I can just tackle the front, and I will give away plants to people in Oneida County that are interested, and that will be a little bit less work for me, but it will get my plants distributed out to other people. So come on in and we'll see what's going to happen. The Coreopsis really puts on a show earlier in the season, but there is this one little plant here that's got a nice little display on it. You can see it's a golden yellow, and then it has very fine thread leaf texture to the foliage. So it's a nice plant to put in contrast with a bold flower or bold leaf like this bergenia. And you can see that there. But if we come on here and we look, I've got daylilies in here, and the Coreopsis is coming up there. It's in front of the daylilies. It was supposed to be in back of the daylilies. If we come along this side, you can see there's some nice dark sedum here, but the Coreopsis is starting to come out a little bit too far and encroach on these plants. Therefore, my plan of attack is going to be to dig out all of the plants that I want, separate the Coreopsis, and then I'm probably going to end up potting up these plants or moving them to different sections in the garden to help keep some soil out of the grass. I'm just going to put down these tarps. That way when I dig the plants up, I can put them directly on the tarps, and that will save the grass from getting a whole bunch of soil on it. Not that that's a bad thing, you can just rake it back in, but just saves a little bit of time. And we're just gonna start someplace and see what we can come up with here. Well, there's a nice clump of the Zagreb that I wasn't really planning on digging up. You can see I've got some sedum mixed in there. I really don't know if it's going to be worth my time to try and pull that sedum out. But what I am finding is that, number one, because it is so dry, that I'm able to just go in kind of across the top and lift these Zagrebs out. So maybe this isn't going to be too hard, and we'll be able to get most of it. But thank goodness it's dry, which is allowing us to do this. Otherwise, I think it'd be a lot harder to remove if the soil was a lot moister. Well, we'll just keep going. You can see just how dry my soil is, and this Coreopsis appears to be rather shallow rooted. So I should be able to just come right along here and lift it out. Now, I'm glad I'm in here, because if you look in there, look at all those seedlings. Look at all those weeds coming up. Another reason I've got to get this out of here. And I'm going to come in and just cut that section, and I can try and pull it out, or I can grab my pruners and just clip those roots. You can see how easily it just pulls right out. And that's what we're going to do all along the edge here. to dig out the the sedum and some of the bergenia, and then we'll get into the daylilies over there. If I had known years ago how easy it was going to be to remove that Coreopsis, I would have done it. But no, instead I wait until the Coreopsis has invaded my daylilies, and now I'm going to have to try and get in here and remove the Coreopsis from the daylily so I can try and salvage it. So don't procrastinate when it comes to your garden plants. Do tackle things when they're small and manageable. Don't let it get out of control like this. But it's always important to have a good helper with you. For those of you who don't know, this is Maple. Can you see the Coreopsis? It has this more of a yellow kind of a root to it. Actually, it looks more like it's an underground rhizome that's yellow. But I think if I can pull those out, that clump may be clear of the Zagreb. I did change my mind about having people come and dig up the Coreopsis themselves. Instead, I dug it up, put it in a wheelbarrow and out at the end of the driveway, and then I put a notice on Facebook Marketplace. I call it a grab and grow. You can come, grab it, pick it up, take it away, and all I ask is that you honk when you take the last of it. That way I don't have to go out there every 5 seconds when people are asking me, is it still available? Is it still available? So it all disappeared eventually. We have a little bit of a location change. I wanted to get out of the sun because even though it's nice out, that sun is hot this time of year. I've got the gator loaded up with the daylilies that I managed to pull all the Coreopsis out of, and now I have to plant up all these little daylilies into some pots. I'm probably going to overwinter them in pots. Daylilies are really very hardy. I don't have to worry about them not surviving the winter here. I'll probably load them up with some leaves around the pots to keep them over the winter, but these are going to be much happier realistically in the pots where they're going to get water than over there in the garden where it is just bone dry. So we're going to pot these up and then take them over to the other side of the house and put them in the pools where we can keep them well watered. I don't know if you're like me, but I have all kinds of pots from plants that I have bought. I save them so that I have them for situations just like this when I need to pot up some things. Now these are not proven winners daylilies, they're just proven winners pots from plants that I have bought. We're going to fill up our pot about halfway, well maybe a little bit more. I'm going to pull out a couple daylilies here. Now, typically you could just put one of these in a pot, but because I have so many and I have no idea what I'm going to do with them, and I really don't want to overwinter so many of them, I'm probably going to try and put 3 little fans in each pot here. And I'm going to clean them up, remove any dead there, cut them back a little bit if the green growth or there's any brown that's a little bit tall and straggly. And then I'm just going to fill the pots up so that the plants are at the same level that they were in the garden. And as I mentioned, daylilies are super forgiving. They're going to do just fine. And they will greatly appreciate the water that they're going to get that Mother Nature is not providing us. Now for plant labels, I use cut up mini blinds, and you can see I wrote pink daylily here and pink daylily there. That way I can stick it in the pot and I can easily look and see that it says pink daylily, but if the sun starts to deteriorate that and it wears it off, I can just lift the tag out and it says pink daylily there as well. So we're going to pot these up and then we're going to take them over to the other side and put them in the pools with water where the other daylilies are that I have that I'm still trying to find a home for. But we're just going to clean these up a little bit and pot them up. Not much to it. Now, this project is turning out to be much more than I anticipated. We're now on day 2 of this project. I started it yesterday, and it was beautiful weather. I was really looking forward to getting a whole bunch done because it was cloudy and cooler than it is today. So I started out there working. Everything was just fine. And then right around lunchtime, I started sniffling a little bit more than I normally do. Now, I don't consider myself somebody who has allergies, but as I listen back to these videos that I'm making, I can hear myself sniffing in them. But I normally don't bother taking any kind of medication for it because I guess I'm just used to it. Anyway, yesterday about lunchtime, I really started to sniff. My nose was starting to stuff up, so I popped a Benadryl. And I thought, well, you know, that'll take care of the problem. Well, yeah, it took care of the problem. Even though it was non-drowsy, I think it knocked me for a loop because I went inside and I was on the sofa for the rest of the day. Fell asleep. I don't even remember what I put on TV to fall asleep to. But I woke up this morning feeling great. So whatever it is, I worked myself through it. But I did pop a Benadryl this morning just in case whatever set me off was something that was in this Coreopsis area that might trigger it again because I really don't want to waste another day doing this. Now I'm putting small little pieces in here. If I get a bigger clump, I'm just going to put one in. And I bet these would all be nice and big if we didn't have the drought that we have going on right now. And my husband John was saying this morning that he heard on the news that we're down 4 inches of water. And we've only gotten 9 over the summer, which is not good at all, or the past month or something. So we are in drought conditions, which is why it's so easy to dig these things up. I mean, they came out and separated so easily, but I'm sure they're very stressed. And what's nice about daylilies, I don't know if you can see how wide the roots are. So they do carry a little bit of moisture in there that helps them through these droughty conditions. So I'm not overly worried that anything's going to happen to these. And we're just going to pot them up. Hopefully I think I'm going to end up with more than 10 pots. And like I said, I have no idea what I'm going to do with them. And the other thing, just if you're new to gardening, you should always try and keep some bags of potting soil around just in case you need them unexpectedly. It saves you from a trip to one of the stores so it doesn't interrupt your project. So I don't know how long I've had this potting soil. I pulled it out of the greenhouse. I forgot it was in there, but good thing about potting soil is it really doesn't go bad, so you can use it. Now I still have some things over where that Coreopsis that I need to dig out, and I'm probably going to finish that tomorrow. I think just potting these up is going to be it for me today. Just because it's football season and I want to go spend some time watching the games with my husband and the neighbors. So I'm just going to keep working on these, pot these up, and then tomorrow we'll come back and we'll tackle the rest of it, which has some bergenia in there. And I might even put the hose on that for a while, so that's pretty well moistened the soil and the plant has a lot of water in it before I start digging it up. The daylilies, I know they can handle the drought. I'm not too worried about that. But the bergenia, realistically, it's more of a shade-loving plant. And I have it in full sun and it's doing really well. I've planted it in shade before and it doesn't like it there for me. So I'm just worried that if I dig it up and I disturb those roots when it's really stressed from drought conditions, that it won't rebound as nicely as it should to survive the winter. If this was spring, I probably wouldn't worry about putting the water on the plants so that they're well hydrated. But going into fall with a drought, I just think I'd rather err on the side of caution. And this one I'm just going to put in a pot by itself. It doesn't need anything extra. That's actually a nice clump of a daylily right there. A double fan. That one will probably send up a nice flower next year. These little ones probably won't flower next year. Anyway, this is what I'm going to be doing for the next 15 minutes or so. And we'll check back in and see what the next process is.
Yeah! Yeah! Yes! Holy shit! No flags! No flags! No flags!
Yeah, baby!
Oh my God!
Yeah, baby!
Oh my
Wow!
goodness! Boy, I'll bet you that pisses off the referees because they definitely did not want to judge.
25 seconds, okay?
Well, it's been almost a week since I started this project and it is still not done. First of all, we ended up losing our football game. Second of all, we are not getting any rain. We got virtually no rain in August, no rain in September, and things are just brutally, brutally dry. And I don't think it's a good idea to get out here and start tackling, digging up, or transplanting plants when they're so terribly stressed. It's just not going to be a recipe for success. The other thing is, sure, I could come in here and I could water and do that, but we are on a well, and I have a feeling our well is getting very, very low. And there are some priorities, you know, like laundry, showers. So I'm really strategically watering just things that really need it, things that I've just planted. The planters I'm still watering somewhat. We did have a frost this morning, so that's coming to an end. You know, things are going to be slowing down there. So it's working out okay, but it's a little sad that the season is coming to an end. So for right now, I'm going to sign off. We're going to tackle this project some other time. But I do want to say a shout out to all of you. I appreciate all my subscribers so much. I did reach 1,000 subscribers and I'm so excited about that. I thank everybody so much for watching, and I hope you will continue to watch as we do more things in and about my garden. So have a great day and get out into your garden and have some fun.